going to be giving you my 2017 Big Ten football predictions. We're going to start off in the East, and in first place I have Ohio State at 11-1 and 8-1, with their only loss coming to Michigan at the end of the year. Michigan's going to be very inexperienced, but I do think as the year goes on they'll get better. Second in the East, I have Penn State at 11-1 and 8-1, with their only loss coming to Ohio State. Even though I think there's a couple games that Penn State could lose, Northwestern could really be a tough game for them, but I do think they'll be able to pull off a win there. And Michigan, I think, all signs pointing to a Penn State victory, especially with that bye coming off, whiteout, all that kind of stuff. Third, I have Michigan at 8-4 and 5-4. You're not gonna like that. Actually, 6-3 in the conference. My bad. They're gonna lose to Florida, Indiana, Penn State, and Wisconsin. But that upset over Ohio State, very inexperienced, only 5 starters coming back, not a good thing. The talent that Harbaugh's brought in is still very young, and I think 8-4 is a realistic expectation for them this year. Anything higher might be a little bit crazy to think. Fourth, Indiana. I have Indiana at 8-4 and 5-4, with losses to Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin, and Michigan State. I think they are returning a good amount of people, and I think they should be a little bit better than they were last year, and I like their chances of getting to that 8-win mark. Fifth, I have Michigan State at 6-6 and 4-5, with wins coming off of Bowling Green, Western Michigan, Iowa, Indiana, and Maryland and Rutgers. A little bit better than last year. I think they were better than their record last year. They're not returning many starters, but I still think they'll be able to get to that 6-win mark and get to a bowl game. In sixth, I have Maryland. I think they're going to be better than they were last year, but I just really don't know if it's going to produce in wins, because last year they had a cupcake schedule. Those 6 wins were absolutely all terrible teams. Nobody won more than 4 games who they beat, and this year they're going to have to play a little bit harder teams to get to that same mark. So Towson, UCF, Rutgers, and Indiana, I think they should be able to beat. So I have them at 4-8 and 2-7, and I think next year will be the year that young talent, I think, will be able to really step up and make some plays and be able to win some football games. Last, I have Rutgers at 2-10, 0-9. Not too much to really say, just that this team's still pretty far away from going anywhere anytime soon. First, in the West, I have Wisconsin, 10-2, with losses coming to BYU and Nebraska. They're one of those teams that's just, they're not going to kill you, but you're not going to kill them. Second, Northwestern, 9-3 and 6-3, with losses to Wisconsin, Penn State, and at Nebraska. This team's going to be good. Pat Fitzgerald's a really good coach, and I think he knows how to win some games, and I think you're going to see that this year. Third, I have Nebraska with losses to Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, and Purdue as an upset. I think this team will be 7-5 and 5-4. Not a great team, not a bad team. Probably like a mid-tier bowl kind of team. And then fourth, I have Minnesota at 7-5 and 4-5. I think they'll lose to Oregon State, Michigan, Nebraska, Wisconsin, and Northwestern. I see this team going probably 7-5 and 4-5, with a loss to Iowa, Michigan, Northwestern, Wisconsin, and Oregon State. Not a bad team, but not really a great team that's going to win a ton of games. And then I have Iowa at 6-6 and 3-6, with a few losses coming their way. A little bit of a harder schedule. I just don't know how good this team will really be. And then sixth, I have Purdue at 4-8, and seventh, I have Illinois at 3-9. Both teams still in the rebuilding process, and I don't really know how good they're really going to be getting to that mark. So that wraps up my predictions. And in the Big Ten Championship, I have Wisconsin over Ohio State in an upset. I think Wisconsin will be able to hold Ohio State to enough points to be able to win that game. That's my predictions. Let's hope they're right. See what you have in the comments. Peace out, guys.